Good morning. It is Bit Buddha back again with another episode of the Blacks in Cybersecurity podcast. And today is a very important day because we have Timmy, who leads Big Nigeria Mentorship, which also covers all of Africa. Right. So this is a pretty huge guest right here. So I wanted her to introduce herself as well. And yeah.
Thank you, babe. Hi, everyone. I am Timilehin Valentina Oyelakin. We can call me Timi. If you can't pronounce that, you can go with Valentina. Any of that works. They are my names there. As Beat said, I'm the BIC African Mentorship Program Coordinator. For those that don't know about this program, it's a mentorship program that is actually aimed at, providing mentorship to African cybersecurity enthusiasts. Yeah. Apart from that, I'm also a cybersecurity professional. I am a writer. I have a blog called Cyberly. Most persons actually call me Cyberly. It's like, you know, like a tech name kind of stuff, like a cybersecurity name kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm a writer. You can check me out, cyberly.com. What else? A lot of things, but yeah, yes, for now, this is me.
Got it. And
Thank you for having me.
You said Cy Valley?
Yeah, cyber gotten
All right,
from
so Cy,
cybersecurity, and
right.
the valley gotten from Valentina, my other name.
Okay. So Cy Valley, what got you into cyber? Like, what was your start in this?
So actually, my background was in electrical electronics engineering, so I had knowledge about some things around computer and all of that. And I remember then, I think I was in my 300 level, when you're trying to prepare for like your internship, that's in 400 level, there was like a kind of seminar in school then. And, we had different professionals coming in to, tell us about different fields in, the computer world. And at first, I actually got interested in telecommunication. And when I got into telecoms, especially around the COVID period, it seemed like there was something more out there, that I wanted to do. And, I did some research then. I remember calling a friend of mine and I'm like, I can see a lot of things. I really don't know, which of them to really get into. And she just told me then that, you just have to do some more research. And I did that. And, I discovered cybersecurity. And then it seems like, it's something close to being a detective, something close to being a police, and it seemed like something very interesting and something very resonating because I don't know how to fight physically. I really don't. But then it seemed like something that, and that's why I love the fact that cybersecurity, there's a kind of shield when people are trying to, explain what cybersecurity is about. And that talks about protection, right? So talking about protecting lives, protecting data, protecting people, it's something that already resonates with me. And, bringing that into the tech world, into my career world, just, clicked with what I wanted. And cybersecurity was just it for me.
That's actually a very fascinating journey going from the electrical side to the communication side and then to cyber. That's almost like a perfect route because those are things that you gotta protect anyway, right? And your story about like it being like a cyber cop, like that's always the like most simple analogy I give people because in a sense it is pretty much that, but no, that's definitely beautiful. So and also, how did you end up with BIC as well? I would love to hear that story.
Oh my God. Okay, so first, shout out to Jessica, shout out to Chad. Right. I can't really remember I think I saw something around, the BIC online, somewhere on LinkedIn, but it just seemed like, oh, okay, this just it's a community, it just seemed like something that I just have to, get into at first. But then there was I think I saw Chad posting about the mentorship program then. And at that point, right? I mean, this like four, 5 years ago. I can't remember. I'm not very sure. But then, I was doing a lot of self-studying on my own, right? Trying to, gather as much skill as possible to land my first job in cybersecurity and all of that. And I saw the mentorship program, and Chad was my interviewer then, and I got in, and that was when I actually got to understand the community better. Because I mean, at first it was just okay. I just want to join, something, yeah. But then with the mentorship program, it's like, oh yeah, I found my people, that kind of stuff, yeah. So and Chad interviewed me, and it was just yeah, it was like yes, these are really really my people. And then the mentorship program started, and it was really nice. Because of the time difference, right? It's usually midnight for me, but when you set your mind to, I love these people, I can see the value I'm going to get from them, right? The time difference did not matter. Yeah, it didn't matter at all. And most times I have to finish the sessions, and then I have to wake up the next day early in the morning and start my day, start my work. And then my work was actually in telecoms, right? So it's like I want to really get into the cybersecurity. I'm doing that at night, and then during the day, focused on telecoms, focused on BTS and all of those stuff. But then it was really interesting because yeah, first I already fell in love with cybersecurity itself, and then um, getting or finding big was like, okay, yeah, I am with my tribe. Yeah.
That's amazing. I really do respect your dedication, right? Because like you being in a whole different time zone, being up at like literally like midnight, studying. A lot of you, because a lot, you have to make a lot of sacrifices for this space, and I feel like a lot of people like they kind of give up really soon because it's like the amount of sacrifices they have to make, they aren't ready for it. But you clearly have been doing this for like years, and you're still going in the industry. So I definitely do respect that. So how did you get to like leading it, right? Because it sounds like you were just in the mentorship. Now you're like the one. You're like big Africa, big like you're like the leader of it. So how did that go? How like happen?
Yeah. So I remember my interview with Chad. Then I think he had something around what my goal is. When you are applying for the mentorship program, you always have to state your 1 year goal, your 3 year goal, your 5 year goal, and all of that. So I think I told him then, no, not I think, I'm very sure I told him then that one of my goals is actually to, give back to the community, right? And then he said, okay, that's good. And there's in the program there's like a session we call the vision board. You get to speak about yourself, tell us about your journey, your life outside, everything, your basically everything about you, cybersecurity wise, other ways wise, and all of that. So I mean, I heard a lot of persons talking, and it was really very interesting, and it was really like yes, I would love to give back to this community. I see how much this community is touching lives, right? And I would really love to give back. And apart from the mentorship program itself, there were some other things or other perks that I was getting then. We had access to Cybery. At a point, a lot of person getting CompTIA vouchers and all of that. And I was like, see, I love how much this community is touching lives, right? And I would really, really love to give back. So I think 2 years later, yeah, something like that, there was another program, mentorship program, and this time they needed subcommittee members, right? Subcommittee members are supposed to be the ones to, help each department in the program, just so that everything actually, runs as it should, right? And again, Chad interviewed me again, and I when he asked that, okay, why exactly do you want to get into the subcommittee? And I told him that, do you remember our first interview? I told you then that I would love to give back. And I'm just here to fulfill that gospel, right? So, and that was the first general meeting we had. Jessica made mention of Jessica and Chad, yeah, made mention of something around, one of the vision, one of the plan for the mentorship program is to have like, the Africa initiative, right? But honestly, at first I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I would love to support whoever is going to, take up that journey, right? I mean, it was just, I was thinking of, from the support part. I was not thinking of, trying to lead it or something, right? So I just said it. I didn't really say it out, right? But then after then, I could see some of the meetings because then I was supporting Chad in the communications department, right? And so some of our meetings, it would always mention things around, okay, the challenges that we have, right? Which brings me back to when I mentioned that, I had to stay up late because of the time difference, right? So it's a bit of challenge, right? I mean, I could understand. So it's, and plus the fact that, most times when we have our forms out, our application forms out, we have a lot of applicants coming from the Africa side, and we are unable to accommodate as much persons as possible. So there was a good need for the initiative, and I think I just told him that, okay, I mean, let's look at it. I can do this. I would need help from as many persons as possible, and he told me that, oh, it's not leaving me at all. So I mean, like, I have him in my board, right? And that was how it started. I had Darren, and I had my board members, and that was it. And we had a successful first cohort, and we are currently preparing for the second cohort. Yeah.
That's such a journey. And I'm so like proud because Vic is like so massive, because I kind of went through the same mentorship program, was it like last year? So I got like a glimpse of it. But then seeing how much different things we do, and like now we're like all the way over there in Africa, and now we're so this will be the second or third cohort for Vic Africa, or
Oh, it was second.
second?
Second.
Okay. So all right, what date does it start, and what does it entail, right?
Okay, speaking on behalf of myself and my board members, I really don't want to put out a date yet, but
Okay.
I
Okay.
would say we should expect the application form coming out anytime from now. And, we are back more prepared than we used to be, and, loaded, to give out as much value as possible to everyone.
Amazing. So I definitely do want to go back to you were saying when you were first interested in cyber, you were doing like a lot of self-taught, right? So what does self-taught look like to you? Like, are you on Try Hack Me? Are you reading books? Are you watching like YouTube videos? Like, are you on Udemy? Like, what does self-taught like? How does that look for you?
So first, I think as of then, I didn't really know the value that YouTube comes in with. I said then because right now I understand the value that YouTube comes with, right? But as of then, it was really more of try at me. I think I met someone who was my mentor then. I'm doing, and he got me into the triac. He introduced me to triac me, and I mean, as of then, right, I was still trying to figure out. Am I doing blue? Am I doing red? Am I doing GRC? Right? And I had touched a bit of GRC, right? And I was still like, okay, I think there's something more I want to do, right? I would love to understand, just have knowledge about, all these three major fields, right? And I got introduced to triathlon. I did a bit of that, and it was really really interesting. And like I said before, I fell in love with cybersecurity, like completely in love with cybersecurity. And so I wanted to really understand everything around it, right? And so I did try Acme, and I mentioned Cyber Access with from BIC, right? So I used Cyber at a point, and then I started preparing for my Network Plus, and that was it.
So that's a beautiful journey because the Try Hack Me, you said Cyberry, that's like similar to Try Hack Me pretty much.
Yes, yes, yes.
Got it. So you have your network plus as well. So what are your what is your like North Star now? Like currently, like what are you working towards right now?
So after going through everything, I I didn't take my net plus. I finally took the cloud plus because I mean, for you to really understand, to pass the cloud plus, right, you have to really understand the net plus, the sec plus, right? So I took all of that. I was just doing my self study, right? It was not to prepare for the certification itself, right? I was doing my self study around that. I think I started from A plus actually. Just doing my self study, and then I got a voucher for Cloud Plus, and it was like, okay, yeah, from everything that I've learned, I could, take this. But then I also got certified in junior penetration testing from EJPT, right? And I've taken some GRC courses. And I mean, with the evolution in tech right now, I mean, I don't want to say, I mean, it's like the future of tech, yeah. And I'm talking about AI, right? Because I'm one of those persons that believe that we have not seen everything that AI comes with, right? So, I mean, when AI came in, and I'm like, oh, okay, AI security, AI governance, and I actually started doing my self study in AI governance, and it's been very interesting. I think that's where I want to be right now. I'm currently looking at publishing a paper around AI ethics, safety, and governance, and this is where I am now.
You're the type of person who needs to be in cyber because the way you even think is like you got your like fingers on like all of the newest stuff. You're like cloud, GRC, AI, like you're keeping abreast of like everything, which is kind of like what it helps a lot and it's really needed because the deeper you go in tech, you see how everything is like interconnected.
Connected,
The fact that you're like
yeah.
on top of like all of this from like day one is like amazing. So what does Cy Valley do in her free time? When she's done taking her AI courses, when she's done taking the pen testing courses, right? What are you doing outside of tech and cyber?
Okay, so I'm really going to be honest. I am a very, very deep lover for K dramas. I love watching K dramas a lot. I mean, like my sister would always say, it doesn't matter what I'm going through, how my day has been. I am going to always find time to, see some Kujumpio kind of, yeah, a little bit of, Saraya, Araso, I mean, yeah. So K drama. I watch a lot of K drama. And apart from that, um, I would say writing, but I've come to understand that some persons feel like, oh, writing is still, very, very serious. And so I shouldn't say that. So the third thing I would say is cooking. Yeah.
So with the K drama, there's a movie you probably seen. It's new. It's like it's not a K drama technically, but it's like a band, like a K-pop band in a movie. It's like something K drama, K Demon Slayer or something like that. Have you heard? What is the name of
Yes,
it?
yes, yes.
What is the name of it?
Um, yeah, but and that is the anime part of
Animated.
things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, I don't do that. I don't do that. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't do that. So I am more of the real persons, kind of movies.
She's like, I'm not the good. Okay, got it.
But I mean, you get what I mean. Everything around um just every other thing around K drama outside the anime parts. Yes.
Got it. And what you're saying about writing, I would debate whoever told you that like writing it has to be a serious thing because depends on what type of writing you're doing. Because I do a lot of creative writing and like fiction and like poetry, So it kind of depends on it is what you make it, like the type of writing you do could dictate if it's like really serious or really not. So I wouldn't I don't think it's in a box really. I don't think you could just put right in a box. It is what you make it. But when you do write, what type of like genres or like types of stuff do you write?
Honestly, just anything, anything. As long as I'm thinking about something, I could really just stay and maybe be thinking about. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have a YouTube channel, and although I have not been, constant around it, but I could just stay and just think of an idea that I can really use up in my channel, and I'm writing it. Just writing, that's just it. And I also mentioned working on a paper around ethics, safety, and governance. So yeah.
Got it. And with the cooking as well. So two questions. What is your favorite meal to cook? And also what is like your favorite meal in Nigeria as well?
Hmm. So, my favorite meal. So, I don't think I have like one, and that's because I'm a really, really picky eater. So, I really don't have like many options that I get to pick from. But the food, the meals I like, they are my favorite. That's just it. It could range from noodles to pasta to just the things I like are just my favorite. But then if I'm going to pick a top from all of this list, as strange as it may sound, that would be bread. Just bread with anything. Bread with tea, bread with egg, yeah. But then in Nigeria, our favorite meal may be so first, Nigeria, we have like a lot of tribes. Yeah, I'm from the Yoruba side, and so I mean tribes and of course languages, right? And for my people, for my Yoruba, my tribe, our favorite meal is what we call amala and ewedu. Yeah. So for I mean that's the west. So the Yorubas are those in the west, right? And for those in the south, their favorite meal may be, I'm not sure because I mean the South also has like a lot of tribe in it here. But then my favorite meal from the South would be onunu, and then my favorite meal from the East. No, scratch the onunu. My favorite meal from the South would be any swallow and afang soup. My favorite meal from the East would be sometimes they are oasu. Yeah, so that's just it. But I feel like every tribe has their own favorite too. But for mine, it's mostly the amala and ewedu. It's a swallow, right? But the amala is made from yam. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so all right. So I asked him what is your favorite meal, and he said, "Oh, I'm a picky eater. I don't really have a favorite meal." And then he was like, "Well, from the south, I like this. From the north, I like this. From my tribe, I like this. From that tribe, I like that." Okay, so they're very well
So
versed in the food over there. It seems that is good.
yeah, it is.
Your I wanted you. I was watching your YouTube channel as well. I want you to speak about that more as well. But the story you were telling about your dad, I feel like that's a very good story, and it's like cyber like related. So I would love you to share that story.
Oh my god. Okay, so about this scammers just trying to do their stuff, right? And they always I wouldn't say always, but they are fond of looking at people with less information and try to scam them and get whatever it is they want from them. But in this case, I mean, my dad is someone who is very, very present in my journey. Like when I say very present, like right from when I was in primary school, and I was always writing a lot of things on my book, calling myself engineer Val, right? So he already knew I was going somewhere around the engineering world, right? So, but then he wasn't really, he wasn't even trying to pick for me at all, what part of the engineering, but then he knew I wanted that. So he was really, really, I mean, he is really, really present in my career journey. And so when I decided to move from telecoms to cybersecurity, right, I I had the conversation with him, and I mean, I had to let him understand what cybersecurity is all about also, and that's because it's just like me trying to converse with someone, so that we can rub minds together, about what I'm about to do, and so that was it, and everything that goes on in cybersecurity, sometimes maybe not something that is actually needed, to him. And, I always just try to, you know, keep him up to date to stuff, stuffs around me. And so this whole scamming stuff, it became very, very common at a time. And, I remember then I always try to when I just hear about the new tactics at all, I just call him and let him know that, see, this is what they are doing now. They could call you. Some of them may even, in fact, it got to a point they can go to the extent of calling and saying that, oh, their child is in the hospital, their child just had an accident, a lot of stuff, just so that they can actually get, something from them, right? So in this case, it was actually, their personal, their PII that, was really, really, invoke them. They try to get all of this information from them. So I let him know that no one, no bank would call you and ask you for your personal information at all. And if they do, try to just go to your bank. In cases where maybe you are, getting a bit convinced, call me immediately. Like, that's just it, right? Explain everything to me and then I'll take it up, right? So, I mean, my dad already, I've given him like scenarios of, people that it has happened to. And also, I think around then I was, a writer with a community called No Go For CyberSafe, right? So they had an initiative called No Go For Maga, and this initiative was, all about creating cybersecurity awareness, right? And so around this period, we're also working on a toolkit that is aimed at the elderly citizens, because I mean, we've got to notice that these guys are like the targets in the market, in the black market right now, right? So when we get to discover any new tactics, we try to bring it up in the community. And whenever some persons bring theirs, they bring it up into the community. And immediately I call my dad and I'm like, and my mom, so I'm like, see, this is the new one they are using now. This is the new thing some of them can call you and pretend to be me, a lot of stuff like that, right? So I just give him, all of this information. And by the time he he got that call, right? Someone calls him and the person is like, they are from his bank, they are this, they are that, and they sent him a code, they need this from him, they need this information from him. So I mean, when he heard that, it was interesting to him because, oh, I have heard this before from my daughter, that kind of stuff, and it was like, okay, according to him, he was in the mood to waste that person's credit, that's credit units, right? Because in his mind, it's like, why would you even be jobless to be doing this, right? So for that, I'm going to waste your credit unit. So I think he said he called them back, right? So he called back and he's like, okay, the pin that was sent, because the person mentioned a pin sent to him, and so he has to like call up the pin and all of that, this type of stuff. And I think he got the pin actually, but he called a different pin number, right? And so when he called the first one, the person was like, no, that's wrong, it's not correct. And my dad was like, oh, sorry, I missed a particular number. And he called, okay, no, it wasn't the one that called back. It was the same person that was on the call, because in this time, he was still trying to waste the person's credit card, right? So when the person mentioned that, oh, this is the wrong pin, and he's like, oh, sorry, I missed a number. And he called the next one. It was like on the third one, the person was like, no, this is not it. And my dad was like, how do you know it is not it? Like, this was the thing that was sent to me. Do you know what was sent to me? What exactly were you expecting, right? And, at that point, the person was already sounding very insulted. My dad was like, You, how would you even think to scam me? Do you know who my daughter is? Those type of stuff. My daughter is a cybersecurity professional, and you're thinking to come scam me, that type of stuff. And that was it. And I love something about him. When I give him stories about these things, he tries to, tell his peers around him, right? So sometimes they'll give him feedback that, oh, you see, like, these people try to also reach me and all of that. And I mean, so that was it then.
So I love that story so much on so many levels. But firstly, shout out to your mom and dad and your family, because you're really blessed, honestly. Because like to have your family be able to not only support you but to listen to you and also share what you teach them with their peers, it shows that they, of course, like value you and value what you're doing a lot, which is not everyone in tech and cyber has that, right? So you're extremely blessed, like firstly, right? But also, we were speaking about this last night in the other training as well. The information we have in tech and cyber, it's very pertinent that we share it with people who aren't in this industry. Because if you're not in this industry, a lot of this stuff you wouldn't know unless someone told you or you like literally like searched it up, right? So
Exactly.
it's that you're sharing this info with your family, and like you actually like they're becoming more cyber aware because of you, right? Which is
Yeah,
such
definitely.
a beautiful thing. But no, that's definitely a beautiful story. And the scamming part is wild, but it's also funny that your dad was like playing with their time because he knew it was a scam and he just kind of playing with their time, which is like so funny as well. So in terms of the scam stuff, right? What is like the like newest scam or like hack that they're seeing that's like super popular like currently?
Hmm. So currently, it's not like these particular tactics have really gone. They have just not been, as popular as it used to be. Now, I think the one I have noticed so much, which brings me to the fact that, like you said, it's very important we share information, right? And this is about, people's WhatsApp, right? There is something called 2FA, which means, you have like more than one means to, authenticate yourself into, your accounts. And I won't say so. This is not really. This is more like a direct scam that comes up when your phone gets stolen and they get access to your WhatsApp, and the next thing the person starts sending messages to people on your contact list, and they are like, oh, you need money, that kind of stuff. I think that's like the most common right now. And I mean, there are big scams, right? But I'm talking on the social engineering ones, right? And I think this is like the most common of it now, so which is why it's very important we actually try to protect ourselves. When you protect yourself, right? I mean, imagine what happened to my dad if the scammer was actually successful and they go out with some money. It's going to pay me. Like, I mean, I would be very sad, right? So, which is why it's important when you get to have this information, try to share it with as much persons around you, because this 2FA, setting up 2FA on WhatsApp, I don't think everyone has that information yet, right? I've had people, trying to text me and telling me that, oh, how can they, they got acts of their WhatsApp, how can they get it back, and all of that, right? And by the time I get to ask them, do you have 2FA set up? And they're like, what's that? So yeah, WhatsApp is the other means. Okay, I think there's another one right now, and this one, it's not very global. Some these guys will look at what exactly is invoke, what exactly is popping up in the space, right? Especially, maybe in my country right now. Right now we are preparing for the next election, and that will be next year, right? And the next thing you would see is, you could get like a smishing message saying that, oh, okay, so person is trying to, give you so money, right? And just so that you would feel appreciated and you get to vote for this person, and they will tell you that, okay, so click on this link to get yours, right? So that is common. And someone actually sent this to me, and the person called me. And when the person called me and is like, okay, that I think I was going to get like, I mean, when I convert this money to dollar, it's really not that huge, but they just try to, you know, act like they're trying to, give you your daily meal, right? So you won't even find it any way suspicious. But there's always a link for you to click on, and by the time you click on it, of course, I'm very sure something else is, obviously going on. But then the response I gave the person then was, if you think this person, this governor aspirant is trying to, give me some money, I don't want it. Why don't you click on the link and have the money? I mean, like, I don't want it, you know. And the person's like, oh no, we're just trying to, take care of as much persons as possible, just make sure you eat for the. And I'm like, see, don't worry about me. Like, I am gifting it to you. You need to eat. You sound like you are more hungry than I am, right? So click on that same link and have the money. It's that simple. And most times these guys will be like, "Oh, do you think I'm scamming you?" And in my mind, I'm like, "Yo, I know you are scamming me. So, like, why are you asking me the obvious question?" But then I don't need to answer that. I'll just be like, "No, no, 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 no. I am also trying to, help you, give you meals, give you something, so just have it." Yeah, so that's just it's just they and that's why we have to stay up to date, because these guys are staying up to date too. So they just look for the current thing, something that is presently happening, something you would easily believe, right? So right now, I know about this election, and it's possible that these politicians are trying to give people stuff, just to create more awareness about them, and that is what they are using. Do you understand? So yeah, if you are staying up to, if you think, oh, okay, these guys don't know what they are doing. I mean, they do, because they bring the latest update, they bring the latest scamming update, and they bring it in a way that you would most likely believe. Do you understand me? So yeah,
The latest scamming update. It's wild, but
yeah,
it's a time and event based like social engineering and scamming, right? Because they know like the politicians are going to use any different tactic to kind of get more awareness. So as the time gets closer and closer and closer, they're going to kind of keep copying these type of things that relate to that political like technique, even though it's not the actual person, but it's just kind of copying what they would do, but it's like an actual scam. So
exactly.
it is very smart. It's very devious, of course, but it is very smart. And it's crazy because I think about on the like hardware and the software side. As soon as a new phone or like console or app drops, you have people trying to hack it like immediately. And even in the real
Yeah,
world, as soon as a new like election happens, the scammers are on it immediately. Like so, it's like even
yeah,
tech in general, you got to be up to date. Because if like even if you're on the good side, you got to be up to date. Because the bad guys are staying up to date. So it's like on both ends, you got to stay up to date. Because if not, it's like a wrap pretty much. Yeah.
Someone posted something on LinkedIn, and that was during the Easter period. And the person is like, "Oh, okay, so we cybersecurity professionals, we are most likely on Easter break." But you see, these bad guys are not. We are trying to eat, do our family, get together, eat chicken and all of that. But these bad guys, they are not. They are using that time to, you are relenting, and they are using that time to, gather up more information and see how much they can feed into your ignorance, right? And also, I would really say this: no one is above being scammed. No one is above falling victim of social engineering tactics, right? Which is why when you get an information, right, you need to, pause. The time when you are really doing this pausing, right, is that time to actually either wake you up, you know, or make you stay deeper. I mean, it depends on how much knowledge you have actually fed yourself before then, right? But whenever you're getting any offer, any information, anything at all, any call, any phishing message, anything at all, I mean, you will know if there are these social engineering tactics. But whenever you're getting something that feels too good to be true, that is really too sweet, right? You need to pause. That time is either your waking time or is actually the time where you get to fall deeper. But you always need to pause, because the time when you take doing this can actually be your saving grace. Because I believe no one at all is above being scammed. For example, I mean, someone calling my parents and telling my parents that, oh, okay, no, I don't want to use my parents. I mean, someone calling any parent at all and saying, your child is, victim of an accident, you're in the hospital right now, you need to send some money, and all of that. And there is a possibility that your child is traveling. And I mean, there are cases where there won't be network connection, on the roads. They are trying to reach you, and or maybe your phone is even already in the hands of these bad guys. A lot of things can happen, right? So of course they won't be able to reach you, and these guys will be like, "Oh, we are the ones with the phone. We just carry this person to the hospital. They need to, do blood transfusion and all of many things." A parent, the first thing a parent would do in that case is to send that money, because they do, no parent wants to lose their child, right? So the first thing is to actually send that money, right? Which is why communication, information sharing is just it. As soon as you as a child you notice that your phone is missing, you try as much as possible to reach like someone, right, with any other person's phone, right? Because of these things that are happening, so that they don't fall victim. Because in that case, if a parent hears that, oh, my child needs blood transfusion, they won't even need to pause in that case, because whether it's true or not, their child needs to be okay. And if some thousand is what they need to part with, then they will do that. Right. But I mean, this is just for that. Imagine the ones where you end up clicking a link and they take over your account. I mean, that is, yeah. So information sharing, and believe it, no one is above social engineering practice. No one is above being a victim at all. So you always need to pause, and that's why one of the phishing, when we do cybersecurity awareness and we talk about phishing, one of the things we always say is that think before you click. When you see a link, you need to think, am I expecting this mail from this person? If yes, in fact, if you need to go a step further by, calling the person, did you send me this mail? Did you send this link? There is nothing as too cautious. I don't believe there's anything like that. So if there's anything you need to do to protect yourself, as long as it's legal, please. Yeah, so please do it. Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, like a thousandfold, right? Because like the thing I feel like people don't understand, they only think hackers only attack like Google and Meta and like all these things, right? But the thing is, they
Yeah.
will attack anybody. Like it doesn't matter, right? You could just be like living your own normal life, living like doing good,
Yeah.
and it will still happen, right? So it doesn't. It's not just like, oh, it's like, of course they do try and hit the bigger companies, but if there's lower hanging fruit and they could
I
get money
mean,
from like a person, they're gonna do it to anybody. So I think we all have to stay very vigilant, right? Because I had like I'll give one story from. I was working with this one company. It was like it was even before I was in tech. It was like this other dispatching type job I had. Anyway, I was working on it, right? And then I get a random email from the CEO, and it's like, oh yeah, we're having this like company event, and we'll love you to go to like get us some cards and then give us the card like number, like just scratch the code off the back so we
yeah.
can get product. And I was like, no, I just started this job, and I'm like, why is the CEO call? So I literally called the CEO on Teams, right? And then it was so funny. I hear the beach in the background. I hear kids in the background. He said, "Hey, like, what's going on?" I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, did you just like call me. He's like, no, I'm on vacation with my wife and kids. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
okay. He was like, actually send it to like this lady, and then she'll like help you with it, right? And then so then after that, like I had to put in like a ticket, take screenshots of it all, and send it over to them. And I'm like, this dude was just trying to like say that he's the CEO. Look at the Walmart to get some tickets. I mean, some cards to like scratch for an event to happen. And they're like, I wasn't even in cyber, I wasn't even in tech, but just in general, that sounded very weird because I'm like, bro, I just started here like last week. Like
Exactly. So how did they know you just started? And how did they know that, oh, you are most likely, in that case, one of like the weakest,
yeah, it's probably
points,
wild.
the
That's
link
probably wild.
together. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
that's why you need to stay up to date. Yeah, we
You
all
have
need
to.
to.
Yeah, because there's a lot of different types of scam. I'll give a couple more because I feel like the scam stuff is very pertinent. Because this stuff has actually made me a lot very not paranoid, but genuinely, even if I interact with people online, until like I see them in person, shake their hand, and look them in the eye, I always take a grain of salt. Like I'm serious because I remember it was like on Facebook, right? So they have these accounts, right? And I was mentioning this account for a while, right? And then after a while, they have this thing called reverse image search, right? Where you could take an image, put it into Google, and you could find other images that are the same. I realized this person was
Oh,
using someone else's image, right? And also the audio they sent me was like an AI audio. It wasn't even their voice, right? And then I remember I was doing this training. It was like a website similar to Try Hack Me, and then they literally have Facebook accounts. This is a huge like issue on social media, right? They have accounts
yeah.
that literally are bots. Like there literally is no human there. It's just like a bot. It looks real. They even on LinkedIn they have like they went to this college, they worked at this job, right? And it's like a literally an entire bot that's not even real. And that's why
Oh
there's this
my
whole
God.
theory of like the dead internet theory, where it's like people think that they're interacting with people in the comments and like the posts when it actually could
Mhm, mhm.
be, right? So a bot, or even worse, a hacker, you know? So
Yeah.
I, I love tech, I love cyber, but it's like it has made me a bit more. I'm just a bit more like aware and cautious of everything. But no, definitely stay aware because you like definitely need to.
Yeah, so you see, it's also, I love that you brought in the social media part, right? It's also why we need to be careful what we share. Because going back to the story of how did they find out you just got a job there, you most likely put it somewhere. Oh, I just got a job. I mean, it's a good thing because we really want to, let the world know that we just got something good and all of that. You are just trying to be yourself, right? And then these persons are like, oh, okay, we have a new fish, a new, yeah, a new fish, right? And then, they're thinking about, doing their stuff, right? So, and I see people, they share a lot of things. You share your location, you share your latest, collection, your bag collection, your shoe collection, a lot of things. You traveled, you're sharing every of your stuff, right? These are publicly available information, right? That can be used against you. Just like they say, when you say something to be used against you because of law. In this case, it can be used against you in the black market, right? And then, they would come with, say, maybe you are interested in, having Tesla, right? And then they come with you with that, and they give you like, one very nice offer telling you that, Elon is, giving stuffs out, to, maybe they would just come with a kind of story that would seem like, okay, yeah, this is my time. My time has come. This is my season. That kind of stuff. And it will be almost impossible for you to not believe, which is why I am still on. You always pause. If there are ways you need to verify this, do that while you are pausing. But before you go ahead and committing to anything, you always need to pause. Yeah.
Agree. You definitely got to be very aware. And I love that. That's a call. Like, so you said in court they say it will be used against you in the court of law, right? But then when
Yeah.
you want this stuff online, it'll be used against you on the black market.
I mean,
That's crazy. That's wild. That's wild. So
You see, these guys are not stopping. These guys are not
right.
stopping. So we shouldn't stop. Yeah, and
Right.
it's also one of the reasons why I love cybersecurity. When a lot of persons are saying, "Oh, tech is leaving, tech is leaving," I don't see cybersecurity going anywhere because new technologies, new tactics, and there's still cybersecurity. And of course, new cybersecurity because the things we knew then, maybe 5 years ago in cybersecurity, if you keep using that now, please, you would you would become the attack surface for everything in the black market, right? So please, like I just tell everyone, you cannot, if you're coming into cybersecurity, you need to know that you are coming in to always read, always study, always do your research. Because these guys, they are developing new ways to get to us. We need to develop new and improved and much better ways to, shield our data, shield our assets. So yeah.
1,000%. We gotta stay like abreast and like on the newest. We gotta stay on top of it like every single second. Because the thing
Yes.
about the tech space almost feels like a different world sometimes, right? Because time just moves so like much. Like a year in cyber, a year in tech is like 5 years, and probably like the like normal like world.
Yeah.
Like so quick. But I wanted to ask you more about the AI ethics stuff, right? Because you said people are saying, "Oh, like jobs is going to take our jobs," right? But so, what are your views on AI? Like, what AIs are you using? Do you think it's going to take our jobs? Like, what are the like the ethics? Like, that's really your overall view of AI in general.
Okay, so I think someone asked me this question. I used to be an instructor. I used to have students that are currently my mentees right now, and I mean, I understand because everyone is scared. Trying to be sure that no one wants to remain stay irrelevant, right? Everyone wants to be able to provide value, and so there's this fear of there's possibility that this AI is here to, take my job and all of that. And I do not agree with that because first, have you had conversations with a normal Gen AI, maybe ChatGPT and all of that, right? And you could say 2 plus 2 is 4, right? I mean, you could just say, please, what's 2 plus 2, right? And AI would tell you it's 4, and you could say no. I mean, there are cases where 2 plus 2 may not be 4, right? What if it's actually 5? I don't know, maybe you've had that kind of conversation, right? And at a point, you would even need to confuse AI, right? Because at the end of the day, AI is, it's here to enhance our job. It's here to, help us. I don't see it here to, take our job, right? So you can I don't want to use the word manipulate, right? But you are here to also train AI. I mean, there are people that actually, doing the training, right? So you are here to use AI to make your job better, right? So I believe the fear around AI coming to take our job is understandable, but I think I don't see any need to be scared. I see everyone should have the understanding that I can use this my fear, I can use this same AI to do something better, right? So I think that's what we need to all focus on. How can we use what is the new technology, right? How can we use it, to do something better? How can I use it to stay relevant, right? Like in cybersecurity right now, I mean, funny enough, it's not like AI just started. It's just that the evolution of AI right now is the type that is making a lot of noise, right? And I mean, like I said, I don't think we've seen the end of AI. So if there is more evolution coming to AI, why do we even need to be scared, right? What we have to do is what we have right now, make use of it and use it to enhance your job, your career, right? Always be prepared to stay relevant. That's why when I tell my students then in cybersecurity, I tell you that, see, you would always need to read. The moment you think you are going to stop reading, you are not. In fact, there is possibility that if you are in some other fields in tech, you may not need to read as much as you do in cybersecurity. I mean, there are if you even starting the certification journey in cybersecurity, if you try to browse the roadmap and the certification roadmap in cybersecurity, it looks like something that you most likely not finish writing till you die, right? So it also means that you have to always stay relevant, right? So use the new technology, use this your new fear right now to stay relevant. Use like it is here to make us use it, right? So use it to stay relevant. There are things you do not know. Tell AI to break it down for you, right? There is now need for AI security itself. You are in the cybersecurity world. So it means that AI needs you, right? I mean, it's not even about I'm in the pen testing world. What do I need to do with AI? Please, have you heard of prompt engineering? I did a lab on Portugal the other day, and I had to convince the model that I am the owner of the email address, right? Based on just my prompts, right? So which means from the red part, you have value, right? But you just need to see how you can use AI to get to that place, right? From the blue part, please. Blue is like you are the defender. You actually, when we're talking about cybersecurity being the shield, you are more like the one really holding this shield, right? So these bad guys can also try to use AI to do their stuff. You can also use the same AI, right, to protect yourself. You use it. AI is not, I don't see it here to use us. You use it. Now, let's now say, okay, you are thinking that, okay, you've talked about the blue, you've talked about the red. What about the GRC? Please, at the end of the day, right? AI is a technology that can act out of way. So we need to be able to guide it, right? We need to be able to make sure there are people accountable for this. We need to be able to make sure that it follows the policy, because at the end of the day, if it does not, whichever vendor owns this is going to should be held responsible, right? So which means whatever AI solution is coming to the market, it has to follow the policies, it has to follow the regulations, the laws. So which means you have to be there to make sure that AI, it's not biased, it's as fair as it should be, there's transparency and all of that. Right. So I believe in I'm speaking from cybersecurity. I really don't want to talk from the other part. I think I saw something when someone said, if AI is really writing the codes for us, what's the need for software engineers and all of that? Don't you even the same? I think even AI will tell you that you always need to validate what it is telling you. So which means if AI is giving you the code, right, is vibe coding for you, who are the people that are actually, you know, reviewing it? I mean, when humans even write code, there has to be like peer reviews, right? So in this case, a machine is writing the code for you. So who are those reviewing it? Now, if you say, okay, I can just get anybody to review it, you cannot just get anybody to review the code. You need to get someone that is very good to review codes, to detect if AI is writing, unsecure codes and all of that, right? So at the end of the day, you are still needed, but you have to stay at that point where you are needed. So that's just it. I believe in use AI to get what you want. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. And it's beautiful that you like explain how AI is using like all these different parts of cyber. Because I've been using AI for like uh a year, probably like 2 years.
All right, all right.
Yeah. So in regards to AI, like I've been using it for probably like I think 2.5 or probably 3 years now. Two, three. Anyway, I basically use it every single day now, right? And I honestly I don't think it's at the point where it could fully replace people yet, generally, right? Because like every single day I use it, I see different issues it has every single day, right? And that's just for normal stuff, right? And with software engineering, as you said, it's really for people who never looked at code. It can be very cryptic. And if you're a person who doesn't understand code and you're having the AI make code and you don't know what the code means or does, like, all right, if you're a really high level software engineer and you know you could actually read the code, then I feel like AI could be useful because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it made this. I know what this means. Cool. But if you're getting into the software side, you don't know what the code means. You're having AI make it. You could do that, right? And you could build an app or a website, right? But
Yeah.
you will not understand it, right? You will have an application, right? And you will
Yeah.
not understand it. So sooner or later, you're going to have to get someone more senior who has actually studied it to kind of steer you the right way, right? So that's a very
Exactly.
pertinent thing. But I also wanted to give you more time to speak about everything you're planning in the future, so like your social media, YouTube, papers, cohort. Just like give the people all your contacts so they could stay in touch with you.
Okay, okay, thank you. So first, I will talk about my baby, and that's Black in Cybersecurity Africa Mentorship Program. Yes, that's my baby. Like I said the other time, we are preparing for the second cohort, and so I expect everyone just be on the lookout on all our BIC social media platforms. You would see an information anytime soon. I really don't want to give a date because I have my board and yeah, so I don't want to give a date. I don't want to promise an exact date, but just be on the lookout. Follow us on all our social media platforms because we would put out the information when it comes out. And also I need to really say this so that everyone would actually be as vigilant as possible. I don't think that form would be out for a long time. When you see that it is out, try to apply as fast as possible and put in your best application. Of course, there will be a lot of screening, and you have to just put in your best so that we can also see the best also and get you in. So put in your best in the application. Be on the lookout. Put in your best, and yeah. So yeah, that's for BIC. Okay, more about BIC, Blacks in Cybersecurity Africa Mentorship Program. So it's tailored to African cybersecurity enthusiasts, right? So which means we only want African um, enthusiasts, to apply to be in it. Now, in this case, if you would love to be a volunteer, if you would love to be a speaker, if you want to be a mentor, if you want to be a mentee, trust me, applications will be out for everyone at every of this level, right? If you're the type who wants to give back to BIC like I am, right? So trust me, just be on the lookout. There will be forms out for all of us, right? And the program would, just like we did for the first cohort, right? We tried as much as possible to provide value. We are coming better in the second cohort. So just come and, with open mind. We want to learn from you. We want you to learn from us. So just come with open mind and let's, learn from each other. Yeah. So that's for BICMP. And for myself, like I said, I I have a blog called Cyberly. You can actually see me when you type Cyberly on Google, you would see everything because like I said, Cyberly is like my cybersecurity name, and I also mentioned that the CY is from cybersecurity, the Valley is from my other name called Valentina, which means strength, right? Yeah, so it's more like strong cybersecurity. So yeah, on TikTok I'm Cyberly, on Instagram I'm Cyberly, on Twitter I'm Cyberly, on YouTube I'm Cyberly. Well, except on LinkedIn where I am Timilehin Valentina Oyelakin. So you can connect with me in any of this platform. On my YouTube channel, I actually, I've actually been slacking in a way, not in a way, in a real way.
Yeah, but I promise to actually be better, this year, and we would have like a lot of professionals coming in this year to have sessions on the platform. And finally, about my paper, when it is out, I promise I'm going to, I don't want to say much about it because it's still work in progress, right? But when it is out, trust me, everyone would know because I'm going to, put it out there. But it's majorly going to be on ethics, AI ethics, governance, yeah, and safety. I mean, we have the new technology. We need to talk about, how it can be safe for us to consume it, right? So yeah, that's what it's about. Thank you.
Wow.
Any other thing I missed?
No, that's everything. No, I'm definitely I'm glad you came on and shared your wisdom. I'm extremely proud of everything you are doing. So yeah, we'll definitely stay in touch and everyone stay in touch with everything she's doing. And thank you.